Dave's Misadventures with a Drone and Mrs. Finkelstein. It took Dave 3 cups of tea and a full plate of emergency stress baking cookies to convince Mrs. Finkelstein he wasn't operating a drug lab. It took another hour to explain the drone situation, showing her the incomprehensible instructions and the disaster that was his assembly attempt. To Dave's astonishment, Mrs. Finkelstein adjusted her glasses, studied the instructions, and declared, "This is Swedish, dear. Badly translated, but Swedish nonetheless." "You speak Swedish?" "I was married to a Swedish furniture designer for 30 years. I assembled more flat-pack furnishings than I care to remember." She rolled up the sleeves of her floral housecoat. "Hand me that butter knife." "No, not that one. The one with the serrated edge." What followed was the most impressive display of improvised engineering Dave had ever witnessed. Mrs. Finkelstein's fingers moved with practiced precision, muttering occasional criticisms about shoddy manufacturing and ridiculous design choices. Within 40 minutes, the drone was assembled, looking exactly like the picture on the box. "Now, let's see if it works," she said, handing Dave the remote. With shaking hands, Dave steered the drone around his living room. It hummed beautifully, performing perfect figure eights around the ceiling light. "Mrs. Finkelstein, you're amazing!" Dave exclaimed. She waved dismissively. "Like I said, 30 years of furniture assembly. Now what are you going to do with this contraption?" 3 weeks later, Dave and Mrs. F's drone repair shop opened in Dave's garage. As it turned out, the neighborhood was full of people with half-assembled drones and incomprehensible instructions. Mrs. Finkelstein handled the technical work, while Dave managed their social media, featuring, of course, Professor Whiskers as their mascot. Their first YouTube tutorial received 50,000 views in a week. The mysterious package sender never revealed themselves, but Dave secretly kept an eye out for more unmarked boxes, just in case another business opportunity literally landed on his doorstep.